Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headlines. Yes, I haven't done it for a couple of weeks, so I'm just jumping all over it again. So that you've got a little bit of an update on what's been happening in the world, I'm going to do some Headley Headlines. So, the Headley Headlines are a feature of my weekly Friday night political talk show called the Headley Highlight Show. You can catch my show every week on X at 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can hear it live, or you can catch it during the course of the week in the many shorts that are available for your audio enjoyment. Please like and subscribe at DeniseHeadley.com, where you can make a donation and you can get me wings, chips and a Miranda, or you might want to make a donation to the tune of a rice, peas and chicken and oxtail with coleslaw, or a muffin and a coffee to wash it all down afterwards. Or you can go over to my YouTube page and become a subscriber, where I have 800, can you believe this, and 15 subscribers. I'm aiming to get to 2,000, but I'd like to get to 1,000 first. So if you'd like to be a subscriber, please do, and I will be delivering to you this unique and fabulous content every week, darlings. Right, over to the news. A 7.7 earthquake devastates Myanmar and impacts Thailand. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck near Malade, Myanmar, affecting both Myanmar and Thailand. The earthquake caused significant damage, including the collapse of several buildings. In Bangkok, local social media reports indicate hundreds of homes collapsed in Myanmar, and there are predictions of thousands possibly dead. The situation has drawn international attention, and with India stepping in very quickly, offering assistance. Labour's welfare reforms are under fire. The UK Labour government's recent budget adjustments, they were not budget adjustments, they just balanced the books on the backs and the misery of the disabled. Okay, let's not talk about it. I mean, this is what happens when you listen to these news stories. They give you language, so it casts a particular type of illusion in your mind. The illusion of fairness, parity, and genuinely treating people with decency. That's not what's taken place under the Labour government at all. The budget adjustments have sparked controversy over proposed welfare cuts, particularly affecting the disabled community. These policies include potential changes to PIP. They're not potential changes, they are changes to PIPs. Altering the criteria for eligibility. And this is leading to significant criticism, and rightly so. The Labour Party could put together a wealth tax. They could increase corporation tax. They could close the vast number of loopholes that are there, which people are taking advantage of, so that they don't pay tax in this country. And they've done nothing about that, but they've consistently and continually, since they've been in office in the last 8 months, the only people they're hitting are the people that voted for them, the working class poor. Buyer's remorse? More than likely if you voted for them. Jeremy Corbyn has highlighted concerns that increased poverty among children and the disabled is going to be the likelihood. So Rachel Reeves is saying she's not going to raise taxes. Yeah, but between her and Liz Kendall, they're going to have to find that money somewhere. So the taxes are going up. Just pay attention to that. And this is interesting. Sentencing guidelines to change despite government objections. The Sentencing Council has refused to amend its recently introduced guidelines that encourage judges to consider an offender's ethnicity, culture or religion in sentencing decisions. This has led to significant backlash from the government, with Justice Secretary Sabina Mahmood expressing extreme disappointment. The guidelines are set to take effect in 3 days, promoting discussions, or should I say prompting discussions, on legislative action to prevent some what see as a two-tier justice system. Excuse me, if you're black or brown, okay, it's always been a two-tier justice system. Okay, so don't even come with that foolishness. As black and brown people, we experience the judicial system in a far greater way. There's more of us getting convicted. There's more of us that will be sentenced to longer crimes because of racism and prejudice and systemic inequality in the system. So if you've had the Sentencing Council talking about it and saying, try to note that when you keep making decisions, if they're brown or one of the 52 shades of black, you tend to be more harsh. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, if it can point it out to you as a judge, then what's the problem? two-tier justice. They don't give a flying fig about two-tier justice. UK steel industry final closure of the furnace. Why are you not doing something about this, Keir Starmer, instead of running around with the Davos sect? British Steel, owned by Chinese investors, has announced, and why don't we own it? Why don't we have ownership of our own natural assets? Because you and your chums from previous governments sold everything that this country owned, okay? British Steel, owned by Chinese investors, has announced plans to close the last two blast furnaces in Scunthorpe. Isn't that a red wall seat, Keir Starmer? You slithery harmer. What are you doing about that? This decision will result in the loss of 2,700 jobs. Now let's see how many of those people qualify for PIP next year or by 2030. How about none of them? So Scunthorpe can look forward to even more desperate poverty. Thanks a lot, Keir. The closure has sparked debates about the industrial policy. This government doesn't even have an industrial policy. They don't have a job creation policy either. They just have, I will follow what my donors told me to do whilst in office policy. That's the Labour Party. Also over to the ceasefire in Ukraine, doesn't look like it's holding too well. Russia has reportedly attacked Polantava, and there are claims of Ukrainian strikes on Russian energy installations. That's not going great then, is it? And also it's the end of Ramadan. So happy Mubarak to all of my Muslim listeners and anyone who celebrates that period and has done their fasting for this period. And finally, the US has presented the Ukraine with a new draft economic agreement focusing on the control of Ukraine's mineral assets. Don't forget, Keir Starmer ran over there, tried to do the 100-year deal, and it cannot work without boots on the ground. That's why he's there working so hard for that, which is already collapsing. The new draft includes a clause requiring Ukraine to repay the US aid. Can you believe that? Good. You have to pay us back. That's what they're saying. All the aid they got since 2022 with an annual interest of 4%. So basically, Ukraine is going to get, as they say, totally punked out. They're going to be used and abused and passed around. Ukraine is like Justin Bieber at a Diddy party. You should have left the party earlier because everybody in that room now wants a piece of you. And it won't end well. Right! That's the end of the news. Hope you liked it. Jump back next week and cut, I think. Toodle pip. Don't forget to subscribe and make a donation as well. Bye.